Vaughan Jog Vlog.
Well, my mom signed up for Stars so she can watch her Outlanders. And in doing so, finally gave me the password. So now I have a little bit of Stars access. I'm going to try to squeeze in some commentaries. Probably Predator, The Thing. I'll see what else is there. But anyhow, I watched Charlie's Angels, the 2019 iteration. Yeah, this may not be as bad as people claim it is. You got the browbeating feminism. You got that going. At first, it seems to get away from that, thankfully. I think that the angels here in the 2019 movie they lack chemistry together, but alone they do a good job. And I can't really remember their names. So anyhow, you start out with Kristen Stewart giving some soliloquy to the camera. They had to shoot this in POV for some reason. And she's talking about how women can do anything. And then she goes and beats up some Asian guy they call Australian Johnny. I was not hearing a lot of Australian accent from this dude. Strangely enough, of the new angels, Kristen Stewart is the American. You got two British people, but one of them is doing an American voice. Anyhow, this other gal, Jane, I'm going to call her character's name because I don't remember the actress name. She's pretty new to the scene. Real tall chick. Like, distractingly. She's like a foot taller than the other angels. So it's always kind of weird to get them all in frame. Anyhow, she kicks some butt. Kristen Stewart kicks some butt. And then Bosley walks in, played by Patrick Stewart. That seems sensible enough, but then he goes and retires in like the next scene. It's like, okay, a year later, it's his retirement ceremony, and they show all these flashback pictures of him with the other angels. And he's hanging out with like Cameron Diaz and the original crew, Farrah Fawcett and all that. And it's like, huh? So we're going to pretend this is the Bosley, while at the same time introducing this philosophy that Bosley is a rank. And you have guys like Michael Strahan in the background being Bosley via Zoom meeting. You know something bigger is going to come of this. Otherwise, they wouldn't have introduced this. And it's not like they're bringing on a new Bosley. They're bringing on a new angel. You got Naomi Scott from Terra Nova. Remember that? She's working at a tech firm. They're developing a clean energy crystal. So they got the lithium crystals. And what do you know? You can do something opposite and kill people. Reverse polarity and short circuit people's internal electric circuit. Okay, whatever. It's not really like the greatest of plots, and I think that's why we end up with this double cross, triple cross thing going. Because spoilers, it turns out that as people are getting knocked off, you have some chases that Patrick Stewart, who is in retirement and checked out very much of this movie, is scheming with that, Johnny 5000 from earlier, right? And so they're going to steal the device, but also the guy that developed it, this guy, what was the name, Bjork or something, that he's bad too. But in order to pull this off, another Bosley, Elizabeth Banks, who is also the director, doesn't tell you that this guy might be sketchy. So the people she's working with, she's keeping in the dark. Hey, make sure you trust Patrick Stewart. Instead of letting them in. Give them a little bit of heads up. Why leave them out other than for the sake to give the audience a twist? So you end up with this weird backstabbing complex. This wants to be more Jason Bourne. It wants to be more James Bond. It wants to be more Ethan Hunt than the 2000 Mick G. Charlie's Angels. It seems to be a continuation of that. You have Drew Barrymore on as a producer, but you have a totally different style. When this was promoted, and really the chief reason it bombed, it was promoted with no stunts, no unique visuals, set pieces, nothing exciting. Just, hey, we have some new angels. I guess they're going to go see it anyways. And people did not. People didn't take to it. Apparently people still like Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu. And the truth is, why is Elizabeth Banks promoted up to Bosley if her character's backstory is she was an angel? It should be the case And there are people practicing softball over there, so I am going this way. That Cameron Diaz could have been the new Bosley. She could have been promoted up to Bosley right as Patrick Stewart's retiring, and people would have been on board with this shit. Honestly, they would have. I mean, you got him in scenes where it's like he's playing the Bosley as though he's Bernie Mac. Like, what? So we also dilute the popularity of the Angels in a way. You know, it's like in Iron Man films, when anybody can be Iron Man, it's not special to be Iron Man. There's not 3 angels, there's squads of angels all over the world. How come they couldn't call for backup? What pressing matter are they constantly in where they can't get any help? So they made the whole organization bigger than it ever was, and in doing so kind of wrote themselves into a corner. Yeah, you know what, another thing, Kristen Stewart actually works pretty well here. This is the most personality she's ever put on display. I just don't think that there's a good mesh of chemistry between the Angels. A little conflicted with this one. I give Charlie's Angels 2019 2.5 out of 4 stars. So we're at the part of the video where I have to beg you to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell, because subscribe doesn't really account to anything other than YouTube might someday send me a plaque.